Well, guys, here we go. Here we go. This is the set. So we are doing the third set. So here we have some data. So the question, what is this particular data? It is talking about the production of wheat and rice over a period of time. So over a period of time is what? From 2014 to 2014 to 2019, right? From 14 to 19 for over a period of 6 years. Right, the data is given. So the legends are here. All right, now here the quantities are in tons, the people are in terms of millions, right? Millions of tons and millions of people, right? Okay, let's take a look at the first question. Here I'm introducing this particular word, that is average annual growth rate. First of all, what is average annual growth rate? Let me explain that to you. Assume that there is a year one, and in the year one the value of value of certain commodities 10 rupees. You brought a fund, mutual fund or whatever. That face value was 10 rupees. Let's say year two it went on to become 40 rupees. Let's say year 2, let us say that it went on to become 40 rupees. Year 3 it has become 8 rupees. Then year 4, now it has become 18 rupees. Year 4 it has become 18 rupees. So if I ask you, hey, what is average annual growth rate? In this case, what is the average annual growth rate? So we ignore these middle numbers. We take the first one as the initial value. This 10 rupees becomes the initial value, and this becomes the final value. And then how many years of change, basically, right? Now, so final value. Okay, then we'll do the percentage calculation as usual. What is the percentage increase here? Therefore, percentage increase is final value minus initial value divided by initial value. Exactly that we'll do. That is 18 minus 10 divided by 10, divided by 10 into 100. As it is that we are going to do. We get that, okay man, it is 80%. The change is nothing but 80%. But I want average per annum. How many growth periods? Listen carefully. From here till here there is one growth period. Don't divide by 4. Alright, on the face of it looks like, hey, isn't it 4? 1 2 3 4. So 80% divided by 4, my answer is 20%. Wrong. Alright, no, that's not the thing. So growth periods, because initial value there is no growth. From initial year 1 to year 2 there is a growth, but growth or degrowth, that does not matter. How many years did you allow this fund to grow? Alright, now there is a first growth period, year 1 to year 2, first growth period. Then year 2 to year 3, so that is second growth period. Then year 3 to year 4, there is a third growth period. Technically you are trying to say that I allowed this fund to grow for 3 years, 3 growth periods. Alright, now 4 years, year 1 to year 4, but year 1 is the year of inception. Alright, that's when you brought that fund, year of inception. Therefore, after how many years you are talking about this 18? 3 years from then. So which means 3 growth periods. Therefore 80% divided by 3, number of growth periods. That's what you are trying to do. 80% divided by 3. Alright, we can get that answer there. Alright, now therefore you will say that, okay, this is nothing but, alright, now so this is nothing but 26.66%, right? So we can get that answer there. Alright, 26.66% is the answer. Fair enough. Alright, now that's a response to this question. Right, that's a response to this particular question. Great. All right, now let's keep that in mind. So what is that I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is AAGR. Let's come back to this. All right, now therefore this phrase AAGR sometimes is also called as simple annual growth rate. Simple annual growth rate. Sometimes we call this as AAGR. It is also called as SAGR. That's a term I'm trying to introduce it to you. Okay, how do I get that AAGR or SAGR? All right, now what is that we are trying to say? Be it AAGR or SAGR. AAGR or SAGR is nothing but initial final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100. That gives me the percentage increase divided by number of growth periods, not number of years, number of growth periods allowed for this particular fund. Let's keep this in mind. Okay, let's now take a look at this particular question. Which year to which year, friends? 2014 to 2019. Which commodity I'm talking about? Rice. Great. What is the rice in 2014? 60. In 2019, what is the value of rice? 80. All right, legend for right is what? That crimson red color, right? Yeah, so therefore you are saying that 60 to 80. Good. So therefore initial value, final value, this is my initial value and this is my final value. Yeah, what is the gap here, my friends? 20. Therefore you are saying that, okay, 20 divided by 60 into 100, you are saying this is 33.33%. Hey, we all know how to calculate percentages. Therefore I did the numerator part. What is the numerator part? 33.33%. good. How many growth years here? From here till here, first year, second growth, third growth, fourth growth and fifth growth. Therefore 33.33 divided by 5. All right, 33.33 divided by 5. That's what we are talking about here. All right, therefore 6.66%. All right, 6.66%. That's going to be my response to this particular question. I hope all of you understood the phrase AAGR. The idea of this particular question was to illustrate what is the meaning of average annual growth rate. All right, that's AAGR is what I went on to illustrate there. Okay, let's look at another component. These are all financial jargons, right? Yeah, another component. Take a look at this particular question. Quickly read it to yourself. Read it to yourself. Here is a question, friends. Here is a question. Read it. Same data. I give sufficient time to absorb the data. Yeah, okay. So now what is that he's saying here? Now this time he's talking about compounded annual growth rate. All right, now earlier it was SAGR, that's a simple annual growth rate. This is compounded annual growth rate. Hey, what is compound interest formula, friends? Compound interest formula, amount is equal to, let me just illustrate that to you. I already spoke about this in simple interest, compound interest chapter, but once again, let me write it for you. Amount is equal to principal 1 plus rate of interest, all right, no, 1 plus, all right, 1 plus rate of interest raised to power n. This is how we used to write. All right, now that's a formula for that's a compound amount formula, right? That's a compound amount formula. Precisely the same thing. All right, precisely the same thing. Here, what I do is final value is equal to initial value. All right, final value is actually the amount, initial value 1 plus, all right, 1 plus, all right, now this is what the rate of interest, in terms of rate of interest, the growth, all right, now growth rate, R stands for growth rate. Okay, how many, what is that n here, friends? N here is nothing but number of growth periods. N here is nothing but number of growth periods. All right, now this is what I want you to remember. All right, that is how you calculate the compounded annual growth rate. Where is that compounded annual growth rate? Here. This R is what I have to calculate. Every other information is given. All right, let's understand that what is given to me. Okay, for which commodity? Same commodity, rice. Okay, between which years? 2015 and 2019. 2015 data becomes initial value, 2019 data becomes final value. Let's keep it in mind. Okay, where is 2015 value? 40. All right, 40 is my initial value. Okay, what is the final value? 80. 80 is my final value. Good. Let me substitute here, guys, for final value. What is the final value here? 80. Okay, what is the initial value? 40. 1 plus rate of growth, that's what I'm calculating. The growth rate is what I'm calculating. Very good. How many growth periods, friends? 15 to 16, first period, second growth period, third growth period, and the fourth growth period raised to power 4, right? Yeah, so therefore this is what you are doing here. Fair enough. Substitute, can simplify them. 1 time and 2 time. Therefore 2, therefore you are trying to say 1 plus R percent raised to power 4 is equal to 2. Is equal to 2. But you may say that, man, how do I get the fourth power of a number? Don't bother. All right, now don't bother. How do I write the fourth root of a number, right? You have to take a fourth root. Don't bother. First take a square root. Do the square root on both the sides. What you will get? 1 plus R percent whole square. Because you took the square root, it will become what? Root 2. Therefore this becomes what? Root 2. What did you do? You took square root on both the sides. Fourth root is difficult to take. Take square root. Now start with the square root. There is no problem. Start with the square root. Therefore, you took the square root of this number. Hey, what is the square root of this? 1.414. All right, 1.414. All right, take it as 1.41. All right, 1.41. See, you would have loved this number. Had this number been 144, had this number been 144, you would have said that result is nothing but 12. Result is nothing but 12. Okay, so square root, I'm talking about the square root. I'm talking about the square root. Okay, let me finish it. Okay, I'm jumping the gun. You may get confused where I'm going here. I'm jumping the gun. Okay, let's write this here. Now what do I do? Take the square root once again. Take the square root once again on these numbers. Okay, take the square root once again. If I take the square root once again, it will become 1 plus R percent. What did I do, friends? I took the square root once again. So therefore, now I already have the result. What is the result? 1.41. Therefore, I should be taking the square root of 1.41. I should take the square root of 1.41. This is the calculation I'm effectively talking about, right? This is the calculation I'm talking. Now listen to me. Now this is what I was saying. See, you need to be observant about the numbers. That's what I meant. Okay, if the number been 144, if the number been 144 and I say that, tell me the square root of 144. You would have loved it. Square root of 144 is 12. Perfect. Hey, what if I ask square root of 1.44? Then you will say that 1.2. 1.2. Now similarly friends, square root of 1.41, 1.41. Hey, it's a simple similar, very close. All right, now so here you have 4 and here you have 1. Second decimal place digit is going, therefore what, it is so damn close to 1.2. it will be really close to 1.2. I'm not claiming it to 1.2, but I'm saying that no harm in taking 1.2 from understanding perspective, right? So therefore I'm saying, but I know that okay, slightly less than 1.2. All right, no problem, take it as 1.2. Fair enough. All right, now therefore I wrote this as 1.2, although I know that it is slightly less than 1.2. No harm writing it as 1.2. You don't need any calculator for these calculation, my dear friends. Right, you don't need anything like that, so you can easily write this as 1.2. No rocket science in this. All right, you wrote it as 1.2. So now do the simplification from here till here, take that 1 to the other side. Therefore r percent is equal to 1.2 minus 1. 1.2 minus 1. All right, therefore it has become 0.2. What is r percent, dear friend? R divided by 100. R divided by 100 is equal to 0.2. Therefore what is r? R is equal to 20. You are saying that my answer should be 20%, somewhere closer to 20%. What is the answer? 19%. Why? Because you know that this was not actually 1.2. You know that okay, this is not actually 1.2. That's fine, but you know that it's so close. Therefore you got the answer as 20%, but the actual answer, all right, closest answer could be closer to 19%. Okay, I guess everybody understood the difference between simple annual growth rate, previous question, and this particular question, which is talking about average annual growth rate. Right now, so earlier, last previous question, I talked about simple average annual growth rate. Or let simple annual growth rate. I spoke about simple annual growth rate. Right here, I spoke about that. I spoke about simple annual growth rate. This question, I spoke about average annual growth rate. Please listen to this particular video once again, just in case you did not follow it completely. I advise you just to already devise this, because these two are important financial jargons which are kind of used in some of the DI sets. You need to be familiar with them, right? I also taught you how to calculate the fourth root of a number. Fourth root of a number, no rocket science in it. Take 2 times the square root and the approximation. These small approximation techniques are kind of important. Fair enough. Let's go further now. Let's go to the next set. Let's go further. Okay, there is one more here. One more here. One more here. Read the question. Question is right at the bottom. Read the question. It's right at the bottom. Please read the question. Done. Okay. Now this is another thing, per capita, per person. All right. Just what is the important? Why did I pick this particular question? Because I'm talking about per capita or per person. Right. That's something. All right. Now, so where some of the people who are not from the commerce background, let some of them from literature background, sciences background, might have some problem there. So therefore, I thought that okay, let me just all right. Now, so the moment you are familiar with the words, what happens? You become that much more comfortable while you are reading the questions. That's it. Right. Okay. Per capita is the word that you see here. Right now, so here per capita, per person, per capita. So and also there is a unit conversion. You need to be mindfully converting the units here. Okay, what is the question here? So question here is, if 1 kilogram of wheat provides 39 calories, that's an energy, right? Energy, calories, right? Now, so the 1 kilogram of wheat provides 39 calories. What was the per capita calorie available? So how much calories each person consumes, don't know, but how much, all right, now, so how much per capita calorie available in terms of wheat? In terms of wheat, how much per capita is available in which year? 2016. Very good. Let's go to 2016. What is the wheat value here, friends? 70. But what is the 70? 70 million tons. 70 million tons. Okay, how do I calculate the per capita? I'll first calculate that how many calories are available divided by how many people are there. All right, total number of calories divided by total number of people gives me calories per person. Very good. All right, correct. That's perfect. So how do I do that? All right, so how do I do that? First, let me find out that how much wheat is available. All right, the amount of wheat available is 70 tons, my friend, is in tons here. All right, now there is a 70. What do you mean by 70 tons? 70 into 1000 kgs and then millions of kgs. Therefore, millions of kgs. All right, now this is kg. All right, now this is kg. Why ton? What do you mean by a ton? A ton is nothing but 1000 kg. The point here is why you are talking kg here, because author is talking kg, per kilogram he is talking. I can't talk in terms of ton. When this man is talking in kgs, I need to talk in terms of kgs here. So and then and then how much? Millions. These many millions is available. It's in millions. I'm not changing million. You'll understand in a while why I'm still talking about the million. All right, now this is the million. Okay, so that's a million divided by All right, okay, this is a million. Even before I do the million, how many calories are available? Therefore, how many calories are available? 39 calories are available per kg. Therefore, into 39 calories per kg. You're talking about 39 kilo, all right, now 39 calories per kg. That's what you're talking about, calories per kg. So therefore, kg cancel. All right, therefore, you are talking in terms of kg only here. These many calories are available here for you, my dear friend. All right, these many calories are available. All right, into what? Into what? Into million. All right, now all this data is in terms of million. Okay, so point here is, okay, look at the answer option. This man is anyway talking about kilocalories. Because this man is talking about kilocalories, this 1000 don't simplify, because this stands for kilo. Finally, when it comes back, this becomes kilo, right? Now, and this is in millions. Okay, divided by how many people are there in 2016? 400 plus 380. There are 780 million people. That's my point. Therefore, the million got cancelled. Million got cancelled. I have my answer in terms of calories here, but author wanted kilocalories. Therefore, keep this 1000, which automatically becomes a kilo. Automatically becomes a kilo. Fair enough. Therefore, finally, your answer looks like 70 into 39 divided by 780 kilocalories. All right, kilocalories. See, what I'm talking here is, okay, per capita is one word. Per capita is one word, no doubt. But at the same time, ensure that the units are taken care. Units are taken care. It was pretty simple question. Just you need to be a little mindful about the units. Therefore, 38, 39 one time, 39 20 times. Therefore, all it now this becomes 70 divided by 20. That is 3.5 kilocalories. Answer is 3.5 kilocalories. You need to be a little mindful about the way you are working on the questions. In the sense, two things I talked about. One, per capita means what? Per person. Per person means divided by number of people. 780 million. How? Because there are 400 male, 400 million males are there. 380 million females are there. Males and females. 380 million females are there. Totally how much? 400 plus 380, which becomes 780 million people are there. All right, people are there. Therefore, the energy has to be shared between this. That's what I divided this by 780. The calculation looks something like this. Your answer becomes 3.5 kilocalories. In a sense, while you are doing the calculation, pay attention. Are they talking about the tons? Are they talking about the quintals? What is that they are talking about? Sometimes, all right, now these small units, because if there is no word kilocalorie here, if the word no kilocalorie in this, then answer would have been 3500 calories per person was available, right? Yeah, therefore you need to be a little careful about how he is mentioning the units. All right, now so how he is mentioning the unit conversion, you need to be a little mindful about in DI at times. Okay, you got this idea with this question. Good, let's go to the next question. With every question we'll try and explore some idea. All right, so that when you are doing about all the questions till about 9, all right, whatever the questions that we're doing, we'll get a fair idea about the varieties basically. All right, one, we'll learn the graphs as well, no doubt. We'll learn the different types of graphs. Today we are talking about the line graph and the pie chart primarily, right? Okay, let's come here. Let's take a look on the pie here. Let's take a look at this pie, friends. Let's take a look at the pie. Okay, let me give a quick background onto this particular pie. Even before you read this set, no need to read this set first. Let me give a background onto this. So what is that? Multiples of 9 or multiples of 18 are important. I will tell you what is this. So look, all right, now here the angle would be 360 degrees. 360 degrees corresponds to 100%. Which way you look does not matter to me. That's nothing but 100%. 100% of the data is put around 360 central angle. All right, 360 degrees, right? Now that's what the 100% is. Therefore, all right, therefore, what would be 10%? 10%, what is the angular representation of 10%? 36 degrees. Okay, what will be the angle representation, central angle? What is the angle representation of 5%? All right, that's going to be 18 degrees. Okay, well, I want you to remember this. Reason being, you know the tables of 18. That's it. All right, there is nothing wrong remembering 36 solid, but then point is we might not know the tables of 36. Therefore, we talk from the 5% perspective because we'll know the tables of this. Or 2.5%. 2.5% becomes what? 9 degrees. Either of this is fine. Either of this is fine. So therefore, already reason being, you will know the tables of 9 or you will know the tables of 18. One of this. All right, now so nevertheless, we'll come back to this side. This is a little bit of background that is required. What is the percentage and the angle representation? Percentage angle representation in the sense, all right, when author tried to say there is a 10 timber here. All right, I'm just taking an example here. Timber is 10%, friends. Therefore, if I say what is this angle? Simple. 10% represent what? 36 degrees. Therefore, you are trying to say that this angle is 36 degrees. Same way out here. Hey, you are talked about 20 degrees here. Already you talked about 20 degrees here. Hey, what does 20 degrees mean? 72 degrees. Sorry, 20 percentage means 20%. 10% means 36 degrees. Therefore, what is 20%? 72 degrees, right? Okay. Now here I have a 15% angle-wise representation. I'll come to it why I'm talking about all this, because there is a need for it, right? Yeah, 15%. 5% means 18 degrees. 15% means already 18 into 3, 54 degrees. 54 degrees. Likewise, I need to be a little familiar with this. That's it. I need to be a little familiar with this. Okay, here we go with the question. Okay, I guess I'll let know that's a background. Here we go with the question. That's fine. Let's keep this background. It comes handy in the next 10-15 minutes time, not immediately. All right, we'll talk about this in a while. We'll talk about this, but that's required. Tables of 18 is important, or tables of 9 is important. That's all the message. Okay, here we go. Take a look at this question. I want you to think about this question for a while. Yeah, it's a beautiful question. No doubt, it's a beautiful question. Let's take a look at this. Now, look at this. Let me give an analogy even before I do this particular question. Think about this, my friends. Think about this. Okay. So think about this. There is a market. All right, there is a market for three products X, Y, Z. Leave this. Just think alongside me like this. X. There is a Y. There is a Z. There are three products in that particular market. Take soap market or whatever. There are three types of soaps. They have 100% market there. They have total 100% market, right? There is a 100% market captured by these three products. Okay, X has 20% market share, and this guy has 30% market share, and the product Z has 50% market share. There are three variants right now. So they have, this is the market share of these three brands of soap, X, Y, and Z. All right, this is in the year one. Let's say that all right, this is in some year one. All right, now let me give a number here. All right, now so okay, this is in 2000, year 2000. Okay, in 2001, when it comes to 2001, let's say when it comes to 2001, in the year 2001, I think my face is obstructing this. Let me remove here. Okay, in the year 2001, so what happened is, already in the year 2001, what happened is, already the value, already know the value, there was actually 100 crores is the revenue. 100 crores is the revenue. Perfect. 100 crores is the revenue. Then the next year, the revenue went on to become 120 crores. Revenue generated by these three soaps in the year time, right, across the spectrum is the already 100 crores in the year one. That's 2000. In 2001, it has become 120 crores. Fair enough. But the market share did not change. This fellow held a market share of 20%. This fellow continued with a market share of 30%. This fellow continued with a market share of 50%. What is this percentage? Market share. Then each product, all right, now each company, assume that X belongs to a company, Y belongs to another company, Z belongs to another company, which implies that each of these, all right, now the companies, the product of these particular companies have grown by 20%. You may say that how, man? All right, now this is 20% and this is also 20%. No growth. There is 30% and there is 30%. No growth. No, there is a growth of 20%. Why? Because the base itself has changed by 20%. The base itself changed by 20%. Because the base changed by 20%, even if they hold on to their market share, 30% holds to the 30%, which means there is a growth of 20% for each of these companies. Why? Because the base has grown by 20%, right? Base has grown by 20%. Okay, if you have understood this, let me give another set of data here. Let me give another set of data for these XYZ. So let's assume that, okay, for XYZ, X held a market share of 20% in the first year. All right, then, all right, now Y had 30%, Z had 50%. Fine, that's 100% market capacity. All right, which was 100 crores in that particular year. Subsequent year, what happened is X has become 22%. All right, now the market share is 22%, controlling the market share of 22%, and this guy is controlling the market share of 38%. All right, market share of 38%, right? Okay, so that has become that has become how much? 70%. Therefore, how much market share the other guy is controlling now? All right, now so the other guy is controlling 40%, because the others are controlling the 60%. Now that's a point here. Now, which implies, now listen to me, X has grown, the company X has grown by more than 20%. More than 20%. I don't want to calculate what it is, because the base itself changed by 20%, and this fellow also increased his market share. Therefore, I can simply say that for the company X, the growth is more than 20%. Similarly, for company Y also, the growth is more than 20%. I can calculate how much is that growth, but that's not the question here. How much? All right, now is it more than 20%? Definitely it will be more than 20%. Simple reason here. All right, simple reason, because the base itself has grown by 20%, and this fellow also increased his market share. Therefore, together there is a growth of more than 20%. How much is that? That will come to it later. How much is that growth? There is a question based on that. We'll come to that kind of question later. How to calculate? Okay, here we go. All right, that's about this particular understanding required for this question, friends. Now listen to me carefully. Why did I take this example? All right, just all it now. Had you understood this example? All right, then all it now the answer could have been done in about 10 seconds time. Technically, okay, 10 seconds maybe exaggeration, could be all at 30 seconds time. Could 30 seconds is good enough to answer this question? Now take a look at this. For how many parameters? So the parameters, bricks is a parameter, cement is a parameter, labor is a parameter, etc. For how many parameters did the cost increase by at least 20%? All right, greater than or equal to 20%. At least 20% from 16 to 17. Correct. This data is for 2016 and this data is for 2017. All right, 2017. All right, let's take a look. 20%. Now look at the base itself, my friends. Look at the base. The base has grown by 20%. That's a point. 300 crores is what was spent in 2016, and 200 in 2017 it is 360 crores. What is the increase in the base? 20%. 300. All right, now the 300 went on to become 360. The growth is 20%. If the base itself has grown by 20%, if the brick is 15%, and had this been 15% here, then the growth is 20%. Otherwise, the growth is less than 20%. Therefore, the bricks is out. Therefore, the bricks is out. Right, I will not consider the bricks, because 15 went on to become 13, therefore it is out. Okay, cement 20 went on to become 19, therefore it is out. Reason being, the base has grown by 20%. I expect that the cement just holds on to the market share. It holds on to that share 20%. Then I want this 20% here. Now look at the labor here. 25 went on to become 28, therefore it is in. Already the labor is in. Why? Because if 25 had this been just 25, there is a growth of 20%. But instead of 25, there is a 28 here. Therefore, there is definitely a growth of more than 20%. Perfect. All right, that's a value there, more than 20%. Therefore, labor is fine. Now look at the timber, 10 and 10 in. All right, timber is in. Why timber is in? Because this is 10 and this is 10. 10 and 10, he just held on to that same number. If you just hold on to that same number, the base itself has grown by 20%. Therefore, naturally, that expense would have been grown by 20% there. Good. All right, therefore, timber is in. Therefore, you are saying that timber is in. Great. Next one, steel, 15 and 12. Therefore, it is out. Solid. Now, supervision, 15 and 18. Therefore, that is in. How many ticks you have put, friend? One tick for supervision, one tick for labor, one tick for timber. Therefore, you are saying that the three of them are grown. Three of them have grown by over 20%. Three of them have grown at least by 20%. Great. All right. Now, that's about this particular question. All right, that's about this particular question. Next one. See, that's already the sense what? Already you would have just compared the numbers. This is 15. Is there a minimum 15 here or not? That's all you would have checked. Hey, there is a 20. Is there a minimum 20 here or not? That's all you would have checked. So therefore, I said that, hey, once you understand this question, it takes 30 seconds here to solve this. All right, reason being, so you know the concept behind this, how to compare them. The base comparison has to be done first. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, think about it. Take a minute. Take a minute. Take a minute. No worries. Take a minute. Yeah, good. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. What is he saying here? For how many parameters? Of course, bricks is a parameter, cement is a parameter, all this is the parameter as I explained. Right? Yeah. So therefore, how many parameters does the cost increase from 2016 to 17? Now he's not saying that the cost should increase by 20%. Cost should be increased here. Simple guys, one way of dealing with this is I will make this base 100. I will make this base 120. It works. All right, because my base has increased by 20%. That's it. My base has increased by 20%. I don't have to convert each number, simple. So the reason for taking this 100 is what? Bricks is 15 rupees, which means you spend 15 rupees on bricks. Assume that 100 rupees is what you spent in 2016. Hey, too less for a bridge, I and you know about it. Take 100, make the calculation simpler. Cement becomes how much? 20. Labor becomes how much? 25. Timber becomes how much? 10. Steel becomes how much? 15. Supervision becomes how much? 50. It becomes easier. Hey, is 120 also easy? Of course, yes. 120 means what? Multiply every number by 1.2. That's it. 1.2. Why? Well, no. Okay. Let me explain for bricks. Let me explain for bricks. How does the bricks will look like? 13% of 120. That's what you should be doing. Hey, what is 13%, my friends? 13 by 100 into 120. Hey, what is this? Nothing but this is nothing but 13 into 1.2. I can cancel this. Wallet, I can take this 10 onto this particular side. In the sense, what I'll 10 there. So it will become 1.2. Good. Okay, that is for wallet, that is for bricks. Take for cement. Take for cement. Let me explain once again. Cement. Cement is what? 13 divided 19% of. Wallet, what is cement here? Cement is 19% of 120. Nothing but what? 19 by 100 into 120. I can write this as 19 into 1.2. I can do this calculation. 120 by 100, 1.2. Therefore what? 12 table we know, comfortably we know. Therefore I can write the numbers with ease. I can write the numbers with ease. Okay, what is that I'll be writing here? 15.6. All right, 15.6. All right, yeah, that's a number that I'll be writing. Hey, what I'll be writing for the cement in case all right, I want to write the numbers. What I'll be writing for the cement, right? Yeah, 190 plus 38, right? 190 plus 38. All right, now that is nothing but 228. 190 plus 38, 228. That's 22.8. All right, 22.8. What I'm doing, I'm just multiplying by 12. That's it. Yeah, 28 into 12. All right, 28 into 12. That is 280 plus 56. All right, 280 plus 56. That is nothing but 336. All right, yeah, I don't have to do this because anyway, wherever there is already a growth, numbers are better. I don't have to do this, which means what? Labor, I don't have to do. Labor, I don't have to do because this is 25 and this is 28. I don't have to do because 28 into 1.8 you will do. Timber I don't have to do because you will anyway do 1.2 to this. Steel I may have to do 12 into 12, 14.4. This you will do it. All right, now supervision you will not do because previous question cache memory, your memory says that hey, these are already more than 20% here. Don't bother to do this. Other numbers you may have to do this. Yes, now you are checking. Hey, there was 15 here. Hey, what is this number? 15.6. Therefore, bricks is also in because other three ticks are in. Supervision in, labor is in, and timber is in because there is a growth. But others do their growth or not? That's what you are checking. Correct. Cement 20 went on to become 22.8. There is a growth. Okay. What about steel? 15 went on to become 12 or 14.4. 15 went on to become 14.4. Therefore, you are saying that except steel. Therefore, you are saying except steel, everything else is in. Therefore, how many parameters are there? There are 6 parameters. Out of 6, 5 parameters, the cost has increased. Only for one parameter, that is for steel, the cost did not increase. See, look again, this question is just about less than a minute. All right, reason being, you just have to multiply the numbers by 1.2. 3 of them, you already know that there is a growth of 20%. You just have to do 3 calculations with 1.2. Simple. You don't have to really consider this 360 and 300, friends. It is just trying to tell you a story that there is a growth between the 2 years. Growth of what? 20%. That's it. So otherwise, it's pretty abstract question. These kind of questions, we call them as abstract. More often than not, the pie charts are abstract. In the sense, I don't have to use the absolute values. Unless my question is talking about absolute value as an answer, I don't have to consider absolute value as the answer. That's a point I'm trying to make. What is that I'm trying to teach through this particular set is I'm trying to tell you that, hey, can you look at the abstractness of the data here? That's one of the things I'm talking with this particular question. Fair enough. Let's go to the next question. Next question. Answer this, guys. I expect that all of you will answer this. Answer. Very good, very good. That's answer. Supervision is the answer. Very good. Yeah, okay. Firstly, all right, firstly, you will only consider these three. Your case memory would have clearly said, hey, you are asking for the maximum percentage increase, maximum percentage increase. All right, now, so all right. Therefore, what is that labor you consider? Because 25 went on to become 28. Labor is one thing that you consider, right? Timber is another thing that you consider. All right, your case memory would have said labor, timber, supervision. That's all the numbers that you consider. How do you calculate the percentage increase? Final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100. That's what you are doing here. Perfect. Now this can also be written as final value divided by initial value minus 1, because initial value by initial value is minus 1 into 100. Now look at this. Whatever the comparisons you do, whether you do for labor or supervision. Okay, let me do it for labor, my friends. Let me do it for labor. When you are doing it for labor, you will be writing it as 28 into 1.2. I already explained. Take this as 100, I said. Take this as 120, I said. Even it is true for this question also, because I'm just doing a percentage comparison. 28 into 1.2 divided by 25. That's what you do. Minus 1 into 100. What is this I wrote for labor? This is the calculation required for the labor. Okay. Calculation will required for supervision. I'm doing it for supervision now. Listen to me. Supervision I'm doing. Solid 18 into 1.2 divided by 18 into 1.2 divided by 15 minus 1 into 100. Hey, I just want to compare these two answers. This answer I want to compare with this. Now 100 is anyway common. That's a scaling factor. You have 100 here, you have 100 here. After multiplying by 100, whichever number was big will still remain big. All right, whichever number is big will still remain big. Hey, you are subtracting minus 1, you are subtracting minus 1. Therefore, no valid. Now, therefore, whatever the number was big after subtracting 1, that number will still be big. Good. You are multiplying by 1.2, you are multiplying by 1.2. Therefore, whatever the number you are multiplying by 1.2, whatever the number was big after multiplying by 1.2, that will still remain big. See, technically, therefore, what is that you have to compare? You have to compare 28 by 25 with 18 by 15. My point is, when you look at this question, you should know this beforehand. That's why we are practicing. It is not that I will write 100 to realize, I will write minus 1 to realize. No. In the sense, once you looked at this particular number, you would have said in your mind, 28 by 25 is better, or 18 by 15 better. Simply put, you know that 18 by 15 is better. Look, what are the fraction comparison you are doing? 28 by 25 and 18 by 15. These are the two fractions you are comparing. The gap is 3. Between both the numbers, gap is 3. The denominator is small here. Therefore, you will say that supervision is my answer. Simple fraction comparison, or it is one of the ways of fraction comparison. The gap is 3. Between both the numbers, gap is 3. But 3 is the gap on a 15 base is naturally going to be a higher fraction. Therefore, simply you will say that supervision. My point with this question is what? Be mindful about the fraction comparison. It may not come pretty directly. It may not be very, very direct when you are comparing the fractions. It might be all it now hidden somewhere there in the sense. So you should be understanding that, okay, all these parts I can eliminate. These hundreds I can eliminate. These minus ones I can eliminate. This 1.2 I can eliminate. I could have directly compared the fraction. I want you to reach that particular stage very soon. All right, now, yeah, that's what I meant by this question. Be mindful about these small things. Be mindful about these tiny things. Okay, here we go. Next question. Get the answer, friends. Get the answer. Complete it. Please get me the answer. Yeah. Okay. So you also learned this, right? Successive percentage change. All right. Now you can do it in multiple ways. I'm just teaching you one way out here. So multiple ways. Successive percentage change. I also taught you about this. Okay. If there are two things there, all right. Now one commodity increase. All right. Now so there are two successive changes. First time it increased by X percent. Second time it increased by Y percent. What is the overall change? You write something like this. You remember X plus Y plus XY by 100%. This is nothing but the successive change. Whenever it is a successive change, we just simply don't add X and Y. Whenever there is a successive change, we do X plus Y plus XY by 100. I can do this here, my friends. The base is increasing by 20%. the 300 went on to become 360. The base is increasing by 20%. The base is increasing by 20%. And now 25 to 28 increase. 25 to 28 is nothing but 12%. This is increasing by another 12%. The base is increasing by 20%. And the labor component is increasing by another 12%. You may wonder how it is 12%. Yeah, because 3 by 20, 3 by 25. All right, final value is 28. All right, just take 28 there. 3 by 25. What is 1 by 25? 4%. Therefore, what? 12%. Therefore, x value here, the value of x I will take it as 20%. The value of y I take it as 12%. Put it to perspective. 20 plus 12 plus 20 into 12 divided by 100%. All right, 100%. Right, okay. Therefore, this is nothing but, all right, now 20 plus 12, this is 32. Right, 32 plus 20 into 12 divided by 100, all right, that is 240, that is another 2.4%. All right, therefore you would say that this is nothing but 30 or 34.4%. That's my answer. In fact, all right, now when you look at this particular question, you know that straight away my answer is more than 20%, because the base itself has increased by 20% and there is an increase in the labor component. Therefore my answer has to be more than 20%. If this is 10%, cannot be my answer. 15 cannot be my answer. 20 cannot be my answer. I don't have to calculate in this question. I can simply say that my answer is going to be 34.4%. Even if there are multiple numbers in 30%, assume that there is one answer called as 30%, there is another answer called as 34%. That's when I would have gone and did this kind of calculation. If all my answers were more than 20, well, that's when I would have said that, okay, I need to now calculate. I would have used this proposition, what we learned from percentage. Okay, I deliberately use this to help you to understand that, okay, we learned this in the percentage chapter. Let us learn, let's recall it. Let's not forget, we learned it and we conveniently forgot it. No, it's not about that. We learned, let's recall them. Let's remember them. There may be instances where I can use, hey, this can be done by multiple methods. Right now, quickest method of this is what? Just by visual inspection. You know that the base itself has increased by 20%. Then what is the need to do this calculation? Every other answer option is less than 20%. And then my answer is anyway more than 20%. Therefore, cakewalk. One look at this question, you actually knew the answer. I just showed you just in case you have to calculate how you would have calculated this. Okay, here we go. This, all right, beautiful one. So let's go to the next pie chart here. Next pie chart here. Again, observe the abstractness of the data here. Get me the answer. Look at the abstractness of the data. I guess everybody is learning about the pie charts here. I talked about the pie chart. Along with the pie chart, I introduced the abstractness of the concept, abstractness of the data. So here is another one. Do it, friends. Here is another one. Yeah, did it? Good. All right. Now, so what is he saying? He's saying that, okay, the following graph shows the breakup of turnover across stores of a Reliance Fresh. Okay, that seems to be about 8 stores here: A, B, C, D, F, G. This is A, store A, this is B, this is C, D, E, etc. Right now, likewise. Right, these are the stores. Fair enough. So what is he saying here? If the turnover of store D doubles next year and the turnover of all other stores remain unchanged. Now, what is given? Central angles are given. This is 72 degrees. This is also 72 degrees. This is already, no, this is 18 degrees. Likewise, the angles are given. All these are central angles, which adds up to 360 degrees. Now, this is where I was talking about, hey, 360 degrees implies, all right, to 100% of the data. You may be wondering, what is the base here, man? There is no base here. I can calculate 72 degrees out of 360 degrees provided some base. No base is given. No worries. Take the convenient base. Say that the base is 360 crores. All these 8 divisions of Reliance Fresh have generated a business of 360 crores. Why 360 crores? I can take X also, no problem. Take 360 to simplify the things. Why? Because percentages are abstract. My answers are percent abstract. Why take X? Take a convenient number. Then writing the answer becomes easier. So what I'm trying to say? Is, what is the business of branch A? The business of branch A is 72 crores, because 360 degrees corresponds to 360 crores. Now that's what you are trying to say. 360 degrees corresponds to 360 crores. Therefore 72 degrees corresponds to 72 crores. See here, Branch C, all right, now what is the branch C, what is the business done by that? 54 crore. Like writing answer becomes easier. That's my point. All right, that's my point. See, whenever there is an abstractness of the data, even if you want to take a number, take a convenient number. That's what you did in the previous question as well. In the previous question, 300 and 360 were given. What did you do? 100 and 120 you took it. All right, in one of the calculations. Reason to simplify the things and get to the answer faster, because there is an abstractness. So absolute value has no knowledge. Absolute value has nothing to do in that question. Very similarly, in this question also, absolute value has no importance. Therefore, I took 360. Why? Writing the answers becomes easier. Okay, now look what happens there. The turnover of D doubles next year. Hey, what is the present D? All right, what is the present value of D? All right, then we'll see the next year. All right, this year, what is the value of D? Value of D is 18 crores. Value of D is 18 crores. Fine. Hey, what is the next year? Therefore, doubles. Next year doubles, which means all right, another 18 crores get added. So therefore, you are saying that okay, 18 crores get added. It becomes 36 crores. All right, man. All right. Hey, what is the total business? Therefore, all right, total business also 18 crores get added. All right, because author is saying that turnover of all other stores remain unchanged. I read that all right while you are reading. I also read, right. Turnover of the others have remained constant. Therefore, what? 360 plus 18, that becomes 372 crores. That's a total. That's a total, because only one branch, that is the D, has changed it, because it is 18 crores as of now for D. All right, that 18 has become 36 crores, which means there is an increase of 18 crores. So therefore, the business also, overall business also grows by 18 crores. Together, how much it is now? 370 to 378 crores. Therefore, it has become 378 crores. Great. All right, now that's a number there. Fair enough. Therefore, the question here is, what percentage of the income comes from the store D? Good. Store D is contributing how much income? 36 crores. Store D is contributing 36 crores out of 378 crores. Out of what? Out of a business of how much? 378 crores. 36 crores is the general, 36 crores is the contribution of store D. 36 divided by 378. Now what does he want? Percentage he want. Percentage. Percentage means on a scale of 100 how much? On a scale of 100 how much? That is the required answer here. Very good. All right, let's go with the multiples of 18. 18 two times. 18 22 times. All right, 18 to 22 times. All right, now so 18 2 times 36. All right, and then you are talking about so store D. Right now 18 2 times 36, and then 18 one time. Sorry, 18 one time. 2 divided by 21. 2 divided by 21. We all know what is the value of 1 divided by 21. 1 divided by 21 is 4.76%. You don't need this 100. 100 is all right now. 100 is there, but you know the fractions. Therefore, what is 2 divided by 21? So that would become 9 point, but that would become 9.52%. That becomes my answer. 9.52% becomes my answer. I hope everybody is in sync with me. Already you are all sync with me. How I'm converting from percentage to percent, from angle to percentage. All right, via what? All right, now via the base. Base is abstract in nature here. Let's take another question. Already you will get the better perspective. We'll take another question on this set. Here we go, guys. Take a look at this question. Take a look at this question. Beautiful question. I'm telling you how angles work in tandem. Angle, percentage, whatsoever it could be. Right? Okay. If the turnover of store E doubles next year and the turnover of all other stores remains unchanged, right? Every other store remains unchanged, then what will be the central angle? Now this time again author is interested in angle made by the store G. Okay. Now for example, now let's again start with 360 crores. Let's say 360 degrees is the total angle. So now corresponds to how much? 360 crores. Let us say that the base is 360 crores. Okay. So where is G, friends? This is G. All right, this is G. All right, that is G. Okay, and which one got doubled? E got doubled. Which is Z? This is Z. All right, E got doubled. It implies the 72 is getting doubled. Another 72 is getting added. Therefore, what is the business for the next year? Plus 72. I will add plus 72 crores to this. All right, why? Because the 72 crore is extra generated. Because I said that 360 degrees is equal to, what did I start with? I said that 360 degrees is equal to 360 crores. Easier. Therefore, 72 degrees is nothing but 72 crores. But it got doubled. The question is all right now he's saying that okay, this value got doubled. Fine. So therefore, all right now the D value got doubled in a sense. What is the business for for the next year? 360 plus 72, right? 360 plus 72, all right, which is nothing but 432 crores. You will say that 432 crores. A 430 crores now corresponds to what? 360 degrees. Because when you put a pie chart, earlier your life was so cool. 360 degrees was equal to 360 crores. Life was simple, pretty good, all right. But this time what you are saying here, 342 crores implies 360 degrees. Now what is the angle of G? What is the business of G, my friends? The business of G is 27 crores, not 27 degrees. 27 degrees is according to pie chart. But what is the business? Business is 27 crores because it did not change, because all other stores remains unchanged. Therefore it is 27 crores. Now therefore the question is, okay, 432 crores means 360 degrees. Therefore 27 crores means how many degrees? That's what I should be doing here. 27 crores means how many degrees? That's a required calculation. Let's calculate. Therefore, let's calculate. I hope everybody got this, because the base value got changed. Base value has now become 432 crores. Corresponds to how much? 360 degrees. Therefore, earlier business was 27 crores by product G. Therefore, 20 by the branch G. Therefore, 27 crores means what is the new angle? Because old angle is 27 degrees. New angle will be naturally less than 27 degrees because the base is higher. 432 is the higher base. Okay, therefore, how do I do this? All right, 27, all right, 432 corresponds 360 degrees. 432 corresponds to 360 degrees. Therefore, 27 crore corresponds to how many degrees? That's a required answer there. All right, degrees. Therefore, 470 to 27 crores correspond to how many degrees? So now this question, I will go by 30. All right, I'll go by 36, 36, 10 times. 36 12 times, 12 times. All right, therefore this is 5 times, and therefore this is nothing but 6 times. All right, this is 3 2 times, and 3 9 times. Therefore 4 point, all right, now therefore you will say that the required answer 45 divided by 2, which is nothing but 22.5 degrees. Now the revised angle in the pie chart, this angle should change to 22.5 degrees, because the base has changed, and in sense the product E is going to occupy more space. Therefore the value is going to be 22.5 degrees. I guess everybody understood the meaning of the angles and the percentages in a pie chart with this particular example. Right now, these are another kind of questions that they are going to ask to test, do we really understand the pie chart? Because if I understand the angles, the percentages, those values, how they are working out there, so then you know that, okay, you are comfortable with the pie charts. All right, because calculations I already taught you in the previous lecture, friends. DI1 I taught you. Here I'm talking the technicalities, various technicalities is what I'm teaching you here. Fair enough. Let's go to the next one, mixed charts. What happens here? So far we spoke in isolation. Already in the first lecture, already DI1, I spoke about table representation of data. Then I spoke about bar graphs, right? Then in the third, already when I started the lecture today, I started with line graphs. Then I went on to the pie chart. Now what I'm doing, the combination graph, some combinations here. There need not be only one graph at a time. There can be a combination, mixtures also come in. That's what we are seeing here. All right, that's what we are seeing. Let's take a look at this particular question. Let's take a look at this particular question here. Mixed graph. Quickly take a look at that particular graph and answer this particular question. In the sense, you got to use the data from both the graphs. You got to marry the data from both the graphs. Yes. Go on, friends. Yeah, okay, let's take a look. All right, let's do this. The population of India in 2003 and 4 is how much? All right, now, so how I'm getting this? All right, now, what is this? All right, now, per capita availability is known to me. Here, per capita, I already introduced this word. What is per capita? Per person availability in what? In grams. In what? Already it is in grams. Hey, what is this particular data in millions of kgs? This is in millions of kgs. My answers are in millions. Therefore, I don't have to worry about the million part here because that's taken care by my answer. I just have to worry about kgs and grams conversion. kgs and grams conversion. Good. Which year I'm talking about? 2003-4 financial year. Here 2003-4 financial year. Good. All right. 2003-4 financial year. What is the production, my friends? Production of tea. What is the production of tea? Well, that is 645. Okay, there was one sentence before that is a production of tea, etc. All right. Yeah. Anyways, tea or whatever is that. Okay, 645. Basically, you're saying that 645 million kgs. Millions you keep it because all anyway my answer options are in millions. All right, therefore you are saying that okay, so I will write the number as 645 kg to grams. 1000 grams. This is in grams now. All right, that's the production. Of course that million is there, but I'm not worrying about this particular part, million. I convert it to grams by multiplying by 1000. Why? Because per capita availability is in terms of 1000. Per person, how much tea is available, tea or whatever is this commodity, how much tea is available per person. So amount of tea available per person is 544. Therefore this divided by 544. That's something that you will be doing. Okay, quick approximation. Sure, all right, we can use the calculators, etc., to do this particular question. No worries, friends. All right, quick approximation. I'll go with the 2-digit number. I kind of ignore this digit. I'll ignore this digit. 3-digit number is there. Hey, can I do that? Of course you can do that. That's what I'm trying to say here. Right now, so therefore you will say that 64 by 54. For easier calculation perspective, I will do it as 65 by 55. See, now you are seeing it as 64 into 54 and 1000. Right? You are seeing it as 64 by 54 and then you have 1000. What I'm saying is, hey, take a look at this, take it as 65 and 55. It's all mental calculation. Your mind imagine like this. Hey, why you are doing something like that? Because answer options have very gap. I said in the beginning itself, if there is too much of gap between the answer options, don't worry. Yeah, that's what I told you. Yeah, okay, yeah, you don't even have to do even that. Now think about this. If it is 55 by 55, just think about this. If it is already, if it is 55 by 55, then into 1000, then the answer will be 1000. This is 1 into this. Now look at this particular question. So when you have 64 by 54, you could have done it in the beginning itself. 64 by 54 is more than 1. More than 1 into 1000 is nothing but more than 1000. There is only one value more than 1000, mark it. There is only one value more than 1000, mark it. In the sense, if I am doing this particular question, one look at this question, I know that answer is A. Alright, I don't have to do much. Okay, what I'm teaching here, what if there are more than one answers in 1000 and there is enough gap between the choices and there is more than one answer in 1000? That's when I'm saying that okay, in that case write this as, in this case write this as 65 by 55 into 1000. That calculation is also fine. Okay, what is 65 by 55? 13 divided by 11. Or I can do it as 13 divided by 11. Okay, what is 13 divided by 11? Or 13 divided by 11, write the approximate values of this, my friend. 11 one time 11. Right, yeah, 11 one time, or in other words, this 11 by 11 and 2 by 11. What is 2 divided by 11? 18.08%, right? 18.08%. All right, now therefore you will write this as 118. Approximately you will write it as 1.18. 1.18 into 1000. If you want to write 1.181, something like this, that's what you will write. 1.1818 into 1000. So this is nothing but 181.8, something like this you would have written. Where is 118? All right, at least the first 3 digits are matching you. This becomes the answer. In the sense, even if if there is no, there are answer options which are in thousands, you can still get the answer done faster. Don't panic about using exactly 645 and 544. Convert it something like 65 and 55, you will get the very close answer to this question. Okay, using the same question I'm teaching you, what if the answer options, there are many answer options in 1000, you can do something like this. In this question it is a straight cakewalk. You would have looked at this particular question, you would have simply marked it in within few seconds of time, because you know that okay, 645 by 544 is more than 1. More than 1 into 1000, answer is going to be more than 1000. There is only one answer more than 1000, you would have marked it in no time. Will I get answer options like this also? Of course you will get answer options like this. Also sometimes you will get the answer options where there are more than 2 numbers in 1000. At that time you need to know some technique. So wherever that is possible, I'm teaching you then and there only how do you do the mental calculation on this. It is not that every time you need a calculator. That's my point, friends. That's my point. Okay, let's take another question here. Beautiful question. Here we go. Take a look at this particular question, everybody. Take a look at this particular question. Try and answer this. Answer this. Again, mixed graphs. The first graph stands for tea production only. This is for tea production. This is the tea. This talks about tea. Production and exports are given there. Yeah. Guys, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay, while you are doing this particular question, I think there was little more data while I was trying to truncate it. All it has taken up this particular shape. Okay, now in this question, all it is after export, all it after export is what we need to consider, right? After export is what we need to consider. Okay, the data I truncated, there were a couple of lines of data in the beginning. So because of want of place, I kind of all it now so removed that particular data. So I'm just reintroducing it. I'm just reintroducing this. What I'm trying to say is, so all right, this is fine, provided you are taking 645 as the number. But here, all right, in the same year, what we have to do is local consumption, because there are exports as well. All right, no, so remove exports, you will get the local consumption. There is a production, there is an export. Okay, what is the consumption? Now this has to be calculated on consumption. All right, this value 544 should be taken on consumption. That is it, same calculation, but take it on consumption. What do you mean? There is 645, that is a production. 215, all right, no, 215 I need to subtract out of this. 215 I need to subtract, because that's getting exported. Therefore, what is being consumed? 645 minus 250, minus 215. Therefore, how much? 430 units are going to be consumed. 430 are going to be consumed. Therefore, the required calculation is 430. 430. All right, now 430 is going to consume divided by 545. 544. All right, in 544. That is the consumption. Of course, into what? Into 1000. All right, into what? Of course, into it is going to be 1000. Right, that's going to be into 1000. I think answer is nothing but 790 millions. Right, similarly, just like the way I taught earlier, you can do the similar calculation. You will get the value as about 790 millions. Okay, you may wonder, how did you do that 790? One look at this, 43 and 54. So I took in my mind 45 and 55. All right, thereby it has become 9 divided by 11. All right, 9 divided by 11. Therefore, 9 into 9, 81 point. All right, now it has become 8. All right, now it has become, all right, did you know that answer is coming out to be 9 by 11 into 1000? We all know what is 9 by 11, my friends. 9 by 11 is nothing but 0.8181. All right, therefore you are saying that, okay, that has become 880. In your mind, you got that number. Therefore, I said that 790, closest answer, because I changed this number to 45, 45, right? Change it to 45. I increase the denominator, decrease the numerator. Therefore, my answer is 790. Simple. It will not be 818 millions. Instead, it is going to be 790 millions. In sense, hey, one look at it, you know the answer. You don't have to struggle too much for it. One look at it, you know the answer, because you know how fractions are working there, right? Yeah, those kind of approximation. It's not that you need calculators every time. Please never mind that, unless the answer options are really, really close. Answer options are not like 790, 800, 810. Oh, it's not like that. Answer options are wide apart. All right, 700. After that, the next pit stop is 790. The next pit stop is in 1000. Okay, yeah, I guess. All right, now that was the missing information there, some small information, that per capita, before you come to the per capita, it should be calculated on what has been locally consumed, right? Now, because after exports is what you are going to consume. Fair enough. Let's come to the next question, friends. Let's come to this question. Let's do it together. If the area under tea production was reduced by 10% in 2004 and 5, all right, when compared with 2003 and 4, I'm considering these 2 years, right? 2003, 4 and 4, 5. The area under cultivation is reduced, which means you did not cultivate, you did not use the area that you used last year. You reduced it by how much? 10%. All right, than the previous year. Then the rate of increase in the productivity of tea, productivity. What is productivity? How much do you produce per hectare? All right, per given area. That becomes the productivity. Author is talking about what is the productivity therefore. Now listen to me very carefully here. Listen to me carefully here. See, technically, last year, that is 2003-4, how much did you produce? 645. All right, how much did you produce? 645 is what you went on to produce. All right, if I say going by the last year's productivity, 645 millions of kgs, let that unit be there, because I'm anyway talking percentage, which is abstract. Anyway, I'm talking percentage, which is abstract. Therefore, I don't have to bother too much about it. Okay, so based on the last year I produced 645 millions of kgs. That is when I use the complete land for cultivation. So if I used only 90% 90% of the land for cultivation. If I use 90% of the land means what, friends? 645 into 0.9. That is the expected production, because if you use 100% of the land, you got 645 million kgs. But if you use only 90% of the land, what is expectation then? 645 into 0.9, that is the expectation there. Let's calculate this, my friends. Let's calculate this. All right, let's calculate this. All right, then it will be 580.5 kgs in the sense. All right, now so if at the rate of 90%, 10% less, reduce 10% less, then it should not have been 645. This should have been 580. All right, this should have been 580. But the point here is, all right, now this should have been 580. Technically, this should have been 580. But these fellows went on to produce 660. That is the percentage increase you are talking about. You are expecting, based on the previous year's rate, you are expecting a grow, you are expecting a production of 580, expecting a production of 580 million kgs. But what did you get here? 660 million kgs. How much extra did you get? You got 80 million kgs extra. You got 80 million kgs extra. That's what you got extra. Perfect. Therefore, you are saying that 80 million kgs extra I got. All right, I got 80 million kgs extra. All right, instead of getting 580, instead of getting 580. Therefore, on a scale of 100, how much do I get? That is the required question. All right, that is the required question. All right, approximate answer. Let's try and find out. Divide this by 8. All right, 1 by 7. All right, 8 7 times 56. All right, therefore 8 one time, I did 8 7 times. So 1 by 7, what is 1 by 7, friends? All right, somewhere about 14%, somewhere about 14%. All right, now that is when it is 8 divided by 56. All right, now answer is going to be 14 point. All right, 14. All right, for all right, 8 divided by 16, the answer is going to be 14.28%. But 8 divided by 58, then the answer will be less than 14.28%. My answer is 13.7%. All right, 13.7%. If you're too finicky about it, no, why can't it be 12.3? Then you got to do a little bit of meticulous calculation. But your gut feeling, because I do the calculation so often, so you are also doing the calculations often, you know that my answer is going to be 13.7. It won't be as far as 12.3. That is quite far. That's quite far. Anyway, nevertheless, all right, now that's how you do these calculations here. All right, you do these calculations here. I hope the point you got it. How do I do the productivity? You got it. When I'm decreasing it by 10%, you better decrease this only by 10% to understand what is the expectation. Expectation should have been 580, but what did I get here? 660. Therefore, there is an increase in productivity. How much increase here? 80 million tons is an increase. Upon what? Upon 580. Because you are expecting, your expectation was 580, but what you got is 660. Good. All right. So that's what it is. All right. That's what about this particular set. That's a mixed graph. In the sense, you'll have more than one graph. All right. Sometimes you use the data from more than one graph here. All right, so let's go to the caselet. Sometimes what happens is they will give a case. They'll give a case, guys. We're into the last 20-30 minutes of the lecture. 20-30 minutes of the lecture. Pay attention. Pay attention. Push yourself. All right, push yourself. Here we go. All right, now these are called as caselets. Do they give caselets? Yes. In most of the exams, yes, you get one caselet kind of study. So how do I do the caselets? Take a look at this particular question. I will come back and explain how do we do the caselet. Take a look at this set, guys. Okay, I'm going to remove my video so that you'll be able to see the entire data. Yeah, here we go. Read this data. Well, guys, let's take a look at this question together. So what is he saying here? Well, so again, so how do we start these kind of puzzles? There is only one absolute number. This is the only absolute number. So therefore, you will start on that particular note. Simple. Of course, you will get the framework. That's fine. So what you will say is sales revenue. So of course, you will write that. Fine. There is a sales revenue. You will write the sales. Okay. Even before that, there are the companies here. What are the companies? AZ. You will make this small table. No doubt about it. You will make a table. AZ, BMZ, then you will say CW, then you will say DT. Sure, all right, now these are the companies, all right, now these are the ones, fair enough. And then you will have three things out there. There is a sales, all right, now which is a function of expenses, and so expenses, you may write expenses, profit, addition of expenses and profit. If I add up these two, I end up with sales. Right? Now these are the three figures. So how the sales number is related, I will add up expenses and profit figures. So thereby end up with the sales figure. So we all know about that. All right, expenses added to profit becomes the sale, or sales minus profit becomes the expenses, whichever way you remember, it does not matter. But point here is what? So there is only one absolute number. We all need to start there. So if you miss that particular point, then you are going for a trip. So generally authors do that. They will not give us too many absolute values. They rarely pitch in one or two absolute values, meaning that hey, hook on to these absolute values and try to work with this particular set. So what is given to me? The total expenses of CW are 10 million. Okay, we're talking in terms of million. Total expenses of CW are 10 million. I'm writing it here, friends, 10 million. I wrote the data. Now, wherever CW is there, go to that particular place. Look at this particular set. Hey, where are CWs are there? There is a CW here. There is a CW here. All right, there is a CW here. So therefore, wherever you see CW, just go there, make a pit stop to that pit stop at CW. Wherever CW is there, go make a pit stop and find out already is there anything that is going to help. Let me go here. The total expenses of CW are 400% more than profits. So which means profit. All right, now what is the expenses? Expenses is equal to 400% means what, guys? 5 times of profit, because 100% more means what? 2 times of profit. 400% more means what? 5 times of profit. Expenses is equal to 5 times of profit. Therefore, profit of CW is nothing but expenses divided by 5. Or therefore, for the expenses divided by 5, 10 divided by 5. Therefore, we are technically talking about 10 divided by 5, which is nothing but 2. Therefore, you are saying that the profit is nothing but 2. All right, profit is nothing but 2. Therefore, what were the sales? Therefore, 12. All right, you got for CW, you went to that particular one. All right, your underlined statement, you got that. While, all right, now he's talking continuation of this, while the sales of DT were 200% more than its profit. DT were 200% more than its profit. But do I have any idea about the DT? Absolutely not. Therefore, leave it at this point in time. Don't worry, we'll come back to that statement later. Okay, so let's continue this statement as well. The total expenses of CW are this, and the total expenses of CW were 11.11% more than, all right, expenses. There is a comparison. Fine, I can calculate this. 11.11% more than AZ. Author is saying that the CW are 11.11%. What is that? The total expenses of CW were, all right, the CW were 11.11% more than. What is 11.11%, by the way? All right, 11.11% or percentage class. 11.11% is nothing but 1 by 9. 11.11% is nothing but 1 by 9. Okay, more multiplier, friends. What do you mean by multiplier? Add up these two numbers, right? The add up multiplier, add up these two numbers, it becomes what? 10 by 9. Yeah, what is that author is trying to say? The total expenses of CW are 11.11% more than AZ. This much more than AZ, which means the multiplier. All right, you are trying to put the multiplier, you are trying to say that CW is equal to, all right, CW is equal to 10 by 9 times of AZ. Multiplier has to sit on this side. So percentage 1 class, please take a look. You will understand this percentage 1 and 2. I clearly explained, but still I made an effort to explain once again here. All these are mental calculations. All right, you will not do all this here. All right, now so therefore CW is equal to 10 by 9 times of AZ. Do I already know the value of CW? Yes, that's given to me 10 million. Therefore 10 is equal to 10 by 9 times of AZ. Therefore what is AZ, my friends? AZ is nothing but 9. That's the information author is trying to tell us here. So the total expenses of CW are 10 million. The total expenses of AW were 1 by 11 more. All it is CW were 1 by 11 more than AZ, which means it was 9. All it was 9. All right, yeah, it was 9. So that's a point author is trying to make there. Okay, good. All right, now this is taken care. Some of these information is taken care. All right, some of this information is taken care. Now you know about AZ also, therefore I can go to AZ as well. All right, I can go to AZ as well. Now look at AZ here. The profit of AZ were 10% of its sales. The profit is 10% of its sales. All right, now 10% of its sales. But will I be able to write that profit is 10% of its sales? Yes, I can write it. I can write it. Let the sales be S. Let the sales be S. Sales is nothing but profit plus expenses. If the sales is X, what is profit, friends? Profit is nothing but 10% of sales. Do I know the expenses? Yes, expenses is 9. Do I know the expenses? Yes, I know expenses is 9. Therefore, what you are trying to say, 0.9 S is equal to 9. Therefore, what is S? S is equal to 10. S is equal to 10. That's what author is trying to say. S is equal to 10. Therefore, what is the profit? 1. All right, what is the profit here? 1. Call it now, whatever profit is 1 million. All right, 1 million is the profit. Therefore, the value is there. See, I'm working out everything for you. All right, now all this has to happen mentally. It should be a mental working. Nevertheless, I explained it clearly to you because sales is equal to profit plus expenses. All right, now therefore profit is told to me as 10% of its sales. If the sales is equal to S, then the profit is going to be 10% of the sales plus 9. Simplify this, 1 full S and 10% of S becomes 0.9 S is equal to 9. Therefore S is equal to 10. So far you have reached here. All right, reached here. So we know about AZ and CW by now. All right, AZ and CW we know. Let's go further. All right, let's go further. That's how you are going to fill this, but it should not take so much time. All right, yeah. While the profit of BMZ were 20% of its sales. Okay, so I will not be able to use this. All right, I'll not be able to use this. Let me go to CW. We said that all right. Now, while the profits of CW and DT were same, profits of CW and DT were same. Copy this. Copy this. All right, profits were same. The sales of CW were same as those of BMZ. All right, BMZ. Sales of CW and BMZ are same. Good. All right, sales of CM. All right, now these two are same. CW and BMZ are same. So this is 12. All right, that's also 12. All right, that's also 12. Great. All right, now let's now come back to some of these numbers BMZ here. While the sales of, here guys, sales of DT were 200% more than its profit. Sales of DT were 200% more than its profit. All right, now sales are 200% more than its profit. The sales of DT. Okay, I can write the sales of DT. It is going to be 200% more. All right, 100%, 200% more means what is this number going to be? 6. All right, this person is, the number is going to be 6 here, guys. I'm explaining this again, once again here. All right, the total here, the sales of DT were, all right, DT, I'm here, the sales of DT were 200% more than its profit. All right, 100% more than its profit means 2 becomes 4. 200% more than its profit means into 3 times. All right, that becomes 6. Therefore, what were the expenses of DT? I can write it as 4. All right, what were the expenses of DT? I can write it as 4. Right, I can write it as 4. Now let me go back to some of the statements in the beginning. All right, so some of the statements, if anything is left in the beginning, because we need to fill this chart. All right, BMZ, we need to fill this. All right, yeah, let's see where is the reference to BMZ, and then we'll close it. Let's come back here. Let's quickly come back here. The profit of AZ were 10% of its sales. That's taken care. That's taken care. While the profit of BMZ were 20% of its sale. Yeah, so here, all right, now so here, the profit of BMZ were 20% of its sale. The profit is 20% of its sale. Sales is 12 here, guys. Sales is 12. Therefore, you are writing 20% of this particular number. What is 20% of this particular number? It's nothing but 2.4. Right, 2.4. That's going to be the profit. All right, profit is all right, he has defined the sales. Profit is 20% of its sales. Therefore, that's 2.4. So if that is 2.4, I got to write the remaining number, which becomes 9.6. All right, which becomes 9.6. Great. All right, now we have all the parameters ready. Answer the question. What is the ratio of the highest and the lowest profit? What is the ratio of the highest profit to the lowest profit? Right? Yeah. What is the highest profit figure that you see? The highest profit figure that you see is 2.4. What is the lowest profit figure that you see? The lowest profit figure you see is 1. Therefore, you are saying that 2.4 divided by 1 is the required answer. 2.4 divided by 1 required answer. 24 divided by 10. 24 divided by 10 is nothing but 2 12 times and 2 5 times. Therefore, answer is going to be A. Answer is going to be A. Likewise, many more questions could have been created. Does not matter. Every single question can be answered because the data is right in front of us. Because the data is right right in front of us, whatever the way they want to twist and ask the questions, we'll be able to answer. The point here is what? So same question. So this table given is different. Now the what is the idea of this particular question? Idea is you generate the table. If you generate the table, you will get the answer. Idea is you generate the table. What again? What is the skill that is used in this particular set? The skill used is percentage. Are you comfortable with percentage? The skill used is percentage. If you are comfortable with the percentage, you got your answers for the given question, right? Now skill used is percentage. Simple. Okay. Yes, guys. All right. Now that's about the today's lecture technically. All right. That's about the today's lecture. I'm kind of like, no, so what we started off with by saying, all right, now by doing some ratio or comparison techniques that we learned in the beginning. Then we talked about then we talked through the line graphs. All right, we also discussed about SAGR, simple annual growth rate, compounded annual growth rate. We spoke about that, right? We spoke about compounded annual growth rate, and then already we also talked about per capita, the meaning of the word per capita, and then we came to the pie charts. Under the pie charts we talked about, in the pie charts we talked about the abstract nature of data, the per angle percentage conversions. That's what we learned. All right, then we came to this particular caselet, the importance of caselet, how do we look at the caselet, right? That's about today's lecture. I hope all of you enjoyed, all of you learned something through this particular lecture. I will stop it here. Stay safe, stay blessed,